My name is Tula Meadows. I'm 28. I wish you were never born. My father said that at my own birthday dinner, in front of 43 people. The candles on the cake were still lit. Nobody moved. Nobody said a word. My stepmother nodded like he just confirmed the weather forecast. My half-sister pointed her phone at my face and kept recording. That was 4 months ago. Since then, I haven't raised my voice. I haven't cried in front of a single person. But I did something that made my father call me 17 times in one night. And by the 18th call, his voice wasn't angry anymore. It was begging. Before I go on, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely connect with this story. Drop a comment with your city and what timite is where you are right now. Now, let me take you back to 3 days before my birthday, the night I found out what the party was really for. I need you to understand something about the Meadows family before any of this makes sense. My father, Gerald Meadows, is 58. Broad shoulders, deep voice, the kind of man who walks into a room and expects everyone to rearrange themselves around him. For as long as I can remember, he was the center of every holiday table, every family gathering, every decision, and one question, Gerald. Not once. My mother, Emily, died when I was 8, complications after a surgery. Something that went wrong months after she had me. I didn't understand it then. I barely understand it now. But what I understood early, what I felt in every silence, every skipped bedtime story, every look my father gave me when he thought I wasn't watching was this. He blamed me. He never said it out loud. Not back then. He didn't need to. It lived in the things he didn't do. He didn't come to my school plays. He didn't hang my drawings on the fridge. When I got the flu in 4th grade, it was my grandmother, Ella Laner, who drove 40 minutes to pick me up. Not him. Eleanor was my father's mother. She was the only person in that house who made me feel like I had a right to exist. She called me my girl. She came to every single recital. She died 2 years ago, and some days I still reach for my phone to call her. After my mother passed, my father remarried. Linda Hole became Linda Holt Meadows. She brought Belle, her daughter, from a previous marriage. Belle was 4 years younger than me, blonde, loud, and instantly, permanently the favorite that I was moved to the smallest room upstairs. My mother's photos came down, Linda's went up, and that was just the beginning. 4 years ago, my father lost his job at a logistics company. Downsizing, they said. He never looked for another one. I was already working as a registered nurse at the community hospital. 12-hour shifts, night rotations, the kind of tired that sits behind your eyes and doesn't leave. When the first mortgage notice came, Gerald left it on the kitchen counter without a word. Linda mentioned it at dinner, like she was commenting on the weather. Someone should probably handle that, she said. She looked at me. So I handled it. The mortgage, the electric, the water, the property tax, the homeowner's insurance. $2,800 a month straight for my paycheck. I set up autopay so I wouldn't have to think about it. I told myself it was temporary. Gerald would find work. Things would balance out. They didn't. Instead, Linda got comfortable. She discovered my credit card had a supplementary card, one she'd somehow talked Gerald into authorizing. I'd see charges I didn't make. A $300 coat for Belle, shoes, a handbag, then a $1,200 designer bag charged 3 weeks before me birthday. When I brought it up, Gerald shut me down in 4 words. She's your sister, Tula. She wasn't, but I stopped correcting him years ago. What kept me quiet was a promise. Ella Laner in her last weeks held my hand and said, "Keep this family together, my girl. They'll fall apart without you." I believed her. I thought if I just kept paying, kept showing up, kept being the responsible one, eventually they'd see me. Eventually my father would look at me and see something other than the daughter who cost him his wife. I was wrong. But that $1,200 bag, that was the first crack. 3 nights before my birthday, I came home from a double shift at 1 o'clock in the morning. The house was supposed to be dark. It wasn't. A light bled from under the kitchen door, and I could hear voices. Low, deliberate, the kind people use when they don't want to be overheard. I stopped on the stairs, held me breath. Linda's voice came first, clear as glass. We announce it at her birthday. 40 people. If she says no in front of everyone, she looks selfish. If she says yes, problem solved. My father's voice slower. And if she makes a scene, then you do what you should have done years ago, a pause. Cut her off. I pressed my back against the wall. My scrubs were still damp from work. My hands were shaking, not from cold. They were talking about my savings $52,000, 6 years of overtime, holiday shifts, skipped vacations, every dollar I had that wasn't already draining into their mortgage and their electricity and Linda's credit card charges. Belle was engaged. I didn't even know until that moment. And they wanted my money to pay for her wedding. Not asked, wanted, planned, choreographed, down to the audience. She owes this family, Linda said. Her voice had no hesitation. It's time to collect. I backed up the stairs, one step at a time. My heart was slamming so hard I was certain they could hear it. They didn't. I sat on my bed in that tiny room for 2 hours. I didn't cry. I stared at the ceiling and thought about every payment, every silent dinner, every time I swallowed the word no because I was afraid of what would happen if I said it. Something shifted that night. I didn't know what yet, but it was already moving. The next morning, I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot and made a phone call I'd been putting off for 2 years. Margaret Calloway, 64, estate attorney, my grandmother's closest friend for 3 decades. Ella Lehner had mentioned her name exactly once in her final days in a voice so quiet I almost missed it. If you ever need to understand what I've left behind, Eleanor had whispered, call Margaret. I'd written the number on the back of a grocery receipt and tucked it into my wallet. It stayed there, untouched through Eleanor's funeral, through 2 years of bills and silence, and a house that never felt like mine. Margaret picked up on the second ring. Tula Meadows, she said like she'd been expecting me. Your grandmother told me you'd call eventually. I need to know what she left, I said. I think I need to know now. Come to my office. There are things your grandmother wanted you to know when you were ready. She paused. Are you ready? I think so. Then I'll have everything prepared. I scheduled the appointment for the following week after the birthday dinner. Whatever was coming, I needed to get through Saturday first. That afternoon, Belle found me in the kitchen. She held up her left hand, wiggling a diamond ring I'd never seen before. You're going to help with my wedding, right? She smiled. Dad says you have some savings. I looked at the ring. I looked at her face. She wasn't being cruel. She genuinely believed I existed to fund her life. That was worse. We'll talk about it later, I said. I didn't know what Margaret had for me, but I knew one thing. Whatever Eleanor left behind, she left it for Ariason. My grandmother was a careful woman. Very careful. Let me tell you what $52,000 means when you're a nurse. It means 6 years of picking up every holiday shift nobody wanted. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve.